하겠습니다. 가운데 한번 볼게요. 가운데. 예.
ARMY. Have you heard the shocking rumor? They're saying that Kim Taehyung RV from BTS is getting married. Yes, married. And the internet is exploding with emotions. Some are crying, some are laughing, some are simply in disbelief. But let me ask you something right now. If Taehyung really stood before us tomorrow and announced his marriage, how would you feel? Would you cry with heartbreak? Would you smile with joy for his happiness? Or would you feel both at once, your heart breaking and healing at the same time? Before we go further, make sure to hit that subscribe button because here we don't just talk about news, we talk about feelings. We share the untold stories that make ARMY and BTS such a powerful family. It all began so quietly, just a whisper on social media. A single post, one photo, a little line of text that said, Taehyung is marrying this woman. That one sentence was enough to set the entire fandom on fire. Within minutes, hashtags were trending worldwide. On Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Everywhere you looked, people were reacting. Some were screaming, "This can't be real." Others said, "I knew it would happen someday." And then there were those who just sat silently, staring at their screens, unable to process the words. Because this isn't just about a celebrity. This is about Taehyung. The man whose smile feels like sunlight on the coldest morning. The artist whose deep voice can comfort us when nothing else can. The friend who, without even knowing us personally, has carried millions of hearts through pain, loneliness, and joy. So when someone suddenly says, he's getting married, it doesn't feel like distant news. It feels personal. Why does it hit so deeply? Because for so many of us, Taehyung is not just an idol. He's been part of our lives for years. We've seen him grow from that shy, playful boy in BTS's early days to the confident, breathtaking man who stands on the world's biggest stages today. We've laughed with him during silly live streams, cried when he was in pain, and celebrated every achievement alongside him. He's been a constant in our lives. So the thought of him suddenly marrying someone, it's like a piece of our own story is shifting. Happiness because we want him to be loved. Sadness because part of us whispers, will he still belong to us the same way? That is the storm inside every ARMY's heart right now. And then there's the mystery of the woman. Who is she supposed to be? Some people claim she's a childhood friend. Others say she's a model. A few even whisper that she might be a foreign celebrity. But the truth, nobody knows. Yet the internet doesn't wait for truth. It takes one blurry photo and turns it into a wedding album. It takes one dinner sighting and calls it an engagement. Takes one smile and builds an entire love story around it. It's almost fascinating to watch how quickly speculation turns into fact online. But for ARMY, it's not entertainment. It's emotional. Because we care about him too much to just laugh it off. The reactions have been overwhelming. Some fans broke down in tears, posting messages like, "No, this can't be true. He's too young. He's focused on music. This rumor must be fake." Others chose laughter, saying, "Another year, another Taehyung marriage rumor." And every time it turns out to be nonsense. And then there are the quiet ones. The ones who don't know how to feel. Who just stare at the possibility, unsure whether to believe or deny. But here's what's beautiful. Many fans after the first shock said something truly touching. If he's happy, we're happy. And that sentence sums up what it means to be ARMY. Because true love is not about control. It's not about keeping someone to yourself. True love is wanting the other person's happiness, even if it changes your world. This isn't the first time such a rumor has shaken the fandom. Throughout BTS's journey, every member has faced wild stories, dating scandals, secret relationships, even false claims about children. And every time the pattern repeats. Chaos, heartbreak, denial, and finally calm. Taehyung especially has been a favorite target. Why? Because he's magnetic. Every look, every gesture, every word feels mysterious and people want to decode it. And yet, through it all, Taehyung has always remained grounded. Sometimes he laughs off the rumors. Sometimes he ignores them completely. But never once has he let them define him. He continues to live his life, focus on his art, and keep his heart open to ARMY. But let's take a moment to imagine. What if it were true? What if tomorrow Taehyung stood before us and said, "ARMY, I am marrying the person I love"? Imagine the headlines, the chaos on social media, the tears, the anger, the heartbreak, but also the pride. Because at the end of the day, what would really matter? That he found happiness. Would ARMY stop loving him? No. Because our love isn't fragile. It's not conditional. Our love for Taehyung is stronger than gossip, stronger than rumors, stronger than even reality itself. Yes, we might cry. Yes, it might hurt. But deep down we know. His happiness is our happiness. His freedom is our wish. Because if Taehyung finds someone who loves him as deeply as we do, isn't that what we always wanted for him? But now let's ground ourselves. Is there any truth in this rumor? The simple answer is no. There is no official statement, no confirmation, no real evidence, just whispers in the wind. And if history has taught us anything, it's this. Rumors fade, but the bond between BTS and ARMY never breaks. People will always invent stories to get clicks, attention, or headlines. But the truth is calmer, quieter, and far less dramatic. And the truth right now is this. Taehyung is focused on his art, his music, his journey. Marriage. Maybe someday. But today. It's just another rumor. Another storm that will pass. Still we have to ask. Why does it hurt so much even when we know it's fake? Because Taehyung isn't just a performer. He's family. He's the voice that wakes us up when we're too tired to face the day. He's the smile that makes us believe everything will be okay. He's the presence that reminds us we're not alone. That's why it stings. Because rumors like this remind us that one day things will change. One day he will fall in love. One day he will marry. And that day, no matter how much we prepare, will hurt. But maybe it doesn't have to be only painful. Maybe it can also be beautiful. Because love is not something to fear. Something to celebrate. If Taehyung chooses someone who truly cherishes him, who lifts him up, who gives him strength, then isn't that the dream? Isn't that the happy ending we should want for him? This rumor, as wild as it is, teaches us something. It reminds us that Taehyung is human. Not just an idol, not just a superstar, but a man. A man who deserves love, laughter, and a family of his own one day. And maybe instead of fearing that day, we can learn to embrace it. To prepare our hearts so that when it comes, we can say with honesty, "We're happy for you." So let's make a promise together. A promise that no matter what the future holds, no matter what rumors come, no matter who he chooses to stand beside him, ARMY will always be there. Cheering, supporting, loving. Because our love for Taehyung isn't about possession. It's about connection. And that connection will never break. So breathe, ARMY. Male. Hold your heart gently. Rumors will come and go, but the truth remains. Taehyung is ours. Not in the way of ownership, but in the way that matters most. Through his music. Through his art. Through the countless moments we've shared. That bond is forever. And when the day finally comes that he chooses his partner, let's remember, we didn't just love him as an idol. We loved him as a human being. And that kind of love never fades. So don't let rumors shake you. Don't let them steal your joy. Instead, let's turn this moment into a reminder of how strong our bond truly is. Because just as Taehyung lights up our world, ARMY lights up his. Now I want to ask you again. If that day really came, if Taehyung stood on stage and announced his marriage, what would you do? Would you cry? Would you smile? Would you do both at the same time? Whatever your answer, know this. You are not alone. Millions of ARMY will be feeling the same. And together we will continue to walk this journey with him. So hold your head high, ARMY. Be proud of the love you give because it is rare, it is powerful, and it is eternal. And remember, rumors may shake the internet, but they can never shake the bond between BTS and ARMY. Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling. Don't forget to subscribe because more stories, more truths, and more heart-to-heart conversations are waiting for you here. Until then, keep loving, keep believing, and keep shining. Because Taehyung is our light, And we are his stars.